Hi, my name is Jay Oza. I coach people so they can deliver great experience to their audience when they're giving a speech. And today, that's exactly what I want to talk about. What does this great experience look like? And I am going to use the famous Amy Cuddy's TED Talk as an example of a great experience, delivering great experience to her audience. Now, before I go into that, I think this kind of ties into some of the two of the videos that I have done on informative speech. And the question I want to ask you is, and I'm going to provide you the link in the description section. So take a look at the speech before you continue. Is this an informative speech or is this a persuasive speech? That's the question. The answer is this is a persuasive speech, but it's not that evident because of how she does it. So let me kind of dissect what she does in the speech. And it's something that I can use, you can use, just about anybody can use. It's a good model to follow. How to deliver a persuasive speech. Okay, the first thing she does in the speech is what I call a promise. She promises the audience that she's going to show them this no tech hack, life hack, that will take 2 minutes. Okay? But she doesn't go into that. So that's the promise. That's the first thing she does. Highly effective. I want to know what that is. I'm going to wait till the end to find out what is this promise? Is she going to deliver on this promise? Excellent. Use that. Then she lightens the mood, which is very important when you're giving a speech. She starts injecting humor right up front. She's not telling jokes or anything. She's just kind of lightening up the mood so the people are more relaxed and they kind of makes herself more likable. And it's another thing, highly effective. I would use it. You should use it. Just watch the speech and see how she does that. Okay. Then she gets into the meat of her speech. Now remember, Amy Cuddy's a researcher. Okay, she's a Harvard professor. And she's now going to spend approximately 15 minutes explaining the research on how the non-verbals influence you, right? Like how does your body affect your brain? And that takes up close to 15 minutes of her talk, which I call that plain informative speech. So there's an informative speech in there. So we did promise, we did that humor to kind of ease the audience into the speech and makes herself more likable. And then she goes into the real hardcore research. Okay, and that takes up 15 minutes. Then she moves around 16-minute mark, the speech suddenly changes. Now she's not informing, but she's now telling her personal story. So she's now moving from a scientific realm, being a professor, to being herself when she was little and she had this accident that she was involved in that affected her intelligence, her IQ. And she spends 3.5 minutes talking about this personal story and how it has affected her and led to where she is right now. And that is a memorable story, which is personal, powerful, persuasive. I call those 3 P's: personal, powerful, and persuasive. Use it. Highly effective. And then she sums it up with her signature moment, which I call it. And that is fake it till you become it. That's the signature moment of the speech. And that's what the speech is known as. Right? So at that point, this speech is persuasive. But she doesn't end there. Okay, she could have ended this speech at various point. She could have ended this right at the informative point at the 16-minute mark and just concluded it. She could have ended it right at the 19.5-minute mark and saying this would make the speech persuasive. No, she doesn't end it there. She does something even more clever. Because remember, there was a promise that she made in the beginning. That promise has to get delivered. And that's what she does. She fulfills the promise. And I call that the reward. So she's rewarding the audience now. And she's giving them the 2 minute no tech life hack, which is to do the power pose. That if you do that, and the reason that's so effective is because up till 16-minute mark, she has given the research to support that. Then she's gone in the next 3.5 minutes, talked about how it has affected her personally, where she was scared of giving a speech to the point where she's in front of probably hundreds of, if not thousand people giving this talk. Getting on a TED stage is not easy. She's on that stage. She belongs on that stage. So it's highly personal that, look, from where I started, I am able to give this speech. Very powerful. So she's now rewarding the audience with this no tech hack. Again, she could have ended it right there, but she doesn't. There's one last thing she does in this speech, and that is the ask. Highly effective. What she's telling the audience is, look, there are a lot of people out there who probably need this information, simple information that could really benefit them. If you like this, if this is something you have been moved by, go and share it with them. And that's what she really wants. She wants this information to be shared so it can help them. So now, let me just kind of sum this up and just summarize in what she does. This is a very good structure, actually. So there's the promise right off the bat. Here's what I'm going to promise you, but I'll come back to it. Let me now fill you in. Then she uses humor to kind of lighten the atmosphere, makes herself more likable, makes people think like, hey, I can relate to this woman. Excellent. Always do that. Then she goes into the real meat of the presentation. She establishes her credibility with information. And that takes up most of the speech, actually. 15 minutes of the speech is just that, where she talks about hormones and testosterone, cortisol, all that. Excellent information. But what do you do with that? Then she gets people really hooked with her personal story. And that doesn't take that long. In fact, her personal story isn't that long, but how it ties into what it leads to, which is that signature moment that you have to fake it till you become it. This is tough. For many people, giving a speech when you're being evaluated is hard. So you're going to have to fake it till you internalize it and you become it. And she actually is an example of that. And then once she's done with that, she offers the reward, the no tech life hack, the power pose as she calls it, and then she asks. And that's it. That is what makes this speech such a great speech. It's something you gotta study it, you gotta use it, and you too can be successful like Amy Cuddy. Take a look at this video and see if you agree with what I just explained here. And let me know what you think. And thank you for watching this video.